Hi everybody, thanks for coming down to the lovely Vox Pop Fest. I'm David Kirschenbaum. I'm the editor and publisher of Boog City. We're a community newspaper in New York City, now in our 16th year. And our next press is out of Long Island, Wallace Media. Please welcome their editors, Ian and Kimberly Wilder.
We want to thank David Kirschenbaum for inviting us and Vox Pop for hosting. As we say at all the places, please come hungry and help the establishment that's hosting us. Wild Media is multi-something-something. We deal with politics, we deal with music, we deal with poetry, we get it out on the web, we get it in print. We're famous for showing up at places and sprinkling multicolored flyers that will show you many wonderful things going on that the mainstream media seems to forget to notice. One of those things, unfortunately, is poetry. Unless, of course, you have interesting incidents that involve politics, which I'm sure we'll hear more about in Nassau County recently, out where we live. Our first reader is George Wallace. George has been a very good friend to us. He's an excellent reader, he's an excellent writer, and he's been a great supporter of poetry out on Long Island. For all those reasons, he was chosen as Suffolk County's first poet laureate. A position he helped convince the legislature would be a good idea and has been a benefit for Suffolk County. George has read all over the country and internationally. He has some wonderful books of poetry published, and we'll get to hear some of his work. George, can you come on?
Thank you, Ian Wilder. And thank you, Vox Pop, for putting this on for poetry. I'd like to hear some music later on. It's going to be music yet. And Bowery Poetry Women are coming later tonight. So there's a lot of good stuff. I'll read about 6 poems for you. It's a poem I wrote after seeing the Bob Dylan exhibit at the Morgan Museum. It's not about the Bob Dylan exhibit, but it's about the street musician who was outside of Madison Avenue. It's called Serengeti Blue. There's this brilliant thing, there's this off-Broadway thing, there's this off-color thing, this azure moment. There's this original news, this diminutive man. There's this secret code, and I am in it. A tin can city. I'm alive in concrete, chasing cool soul, 5/4 time, but a little more potted and continuous and cold. Life is persistent in this town, desolate and alone. Life is hot, even when an Arctic wind hits the town with its desolate and alone on the pavement. Don't deny it, there's a rhythm in December, even uptown on Madison Avenue, where it's crowded with these people you never knew could blow so good. A rhythm blows in this town. The taxis, the pedestrians, the sleek puddles of easy money, everyone is polluted and angry and fast-moving and wise, and perhaps the dwarf steeples, the diamond merchants, the coffee shops with a few dotty women inside, the Wall Street sharks, the man with the mirror, the unholy magician, everyone looking for themselves in a magazine, and everyone hungry and hoping for the best, hoping to hear the sound. No, it is not on the radio, it is not on that headset. No, it is not on the iPod or the endless horns blowing. No, it is not the kids crossing on the crosswalks. It is a sound infinitely more forward, moving, and true and cognizant. The skipper of things, the hip and crouching and curious down low of things, hidden in the crowd, the hot chestnut, the salt peanut, the steam rising from a manhole cover, the engine block, the handle in red carpet, the untarnished chapel of midnight, the blind ambition. It is the hot dog vendor, the street hustler, the monotonous streetwalker, the occasional cluster of miniature dogs, repetitive, hopeless, impossible, multi-directional, unholy, old, infested city. I see how you are. Your women glide gracefully and superfluous and rich, and just like that, I catch his reflection. A griot with the quarter I had. He is Creole, he is surreptitious, he is complete in his drumbeat, kicking down the street thing, a silver gleaming impossible, waterfall of a man, untouchable, immutable and strong, surrounded by money, 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 and the men who make it, mine it, mint it, trade it, hoard it. The sun is in his face, the sun is his silver dollar, the sun is his Sahara eyes, The sun rises and sets at his feet. The sun cannot be compared to this or that or shine so bright as this music of his, because he is making a music that is so pure and beyond the beaten down path. Music of metal, music of paper, music of grease power, alcohol, garbage, music of handgun and crackpot, music of slave chain and insurrection. He's on his own unbeaten thing. He's seated on an upside-down plastic bucket where he is undiminished, a drumstick in each immediate hand, illuminated, unchained, logical, holy. His face is vast currency. He looks at his hands, he looks out at the world, he hears how it is, his inner city is moving, he is the intelligent engine of his own, best commerce, master of the undertow, prince of the original, shared, spark, speout, padiddle, beanbag, collective, communal, pituitary, eternal, pear-shaped, arbitrary, literary, dangerous, new, boom, serengeti blue. Thanks. How's it sound? Am I popping this thing? Good. This poem was called Because, a love poem. Because your hands are a theater and your eyelashes makeup, and your smile is a nightclub where everything always happens, and your ears are minor characters in a silent film, overacting in the old-fashioned way. And your poems are missing persons looking for a ritual of cold musical waves, and your music is a mystery, and the mystery is a wind, and the wind is always crossing the desolate plain. Because under the vision of darkness your feet migrate towards lonesome company, and there's underwater dancing, even when you do not glide so gracefully over us. And your hips sway endlessly through black and white Charlie Chaplin boulevards. Because one day we're walking along the crisp edge of tragedy, and the streetlights came on, and there were stars jumping, and blue spots and puddles, and your heart leaping like a trout, and a curtain was going up and down and up, and when you started to laugh, your womb contracted. Because even though you were living in unbelievable prosperity, your knees still bent with the memory of white hunger, and your face shifting imperceptibly in candle-flame torchlight, and your eyes flickering between promise and suspicion. Because the toes on your right foot curl in unison, and I cannot recall the toes on your left foot, but I can imagine ways they ball up into a nest of prayer. Because when you wake up, rain is shivering all along a rocky coastline, and anyhow streetcars race aimlessly, and the blood in your arteries is crystal for days, and when you get angry, you swing your notorious arms all over everything, because your flesh is constantly trying to emerge from an ocean or a cocoon, and your skin is trying to forget what your bone marrow knows, and your palms serve gratefully in a willing marriage of saints. Because sometimes when you pull back your hair, I want to cry. I will love you because the moon's armor falls away in all four directions. And the great eclipse of your shadow crosses my continent, and your sun breaks morning up into dragonfly wings, and the cities of brickyard reassemble block by block in your smile. I will love you because there's always curves and cobblestones, and you. It was always the street rising up wherever we were walking, and you never knew it. You were just walking, and I was just with you. Because wherever you walked, there were always simple pancakes of applause. Because wherever you sat, there were always haphazard bouquets. Because even now, you do not know how much you are loved. Because no one ever knows. It's a Connecticut poem. Wrestling Godzilla. I'm daydreaming in Connecticut. I won't get into it. Strange, it's my usual nightmare. Godzilla and me, arms swinging everywhere. When in walks a delivery boy from Subway with a tray of sandwiches. My literature professor says, what will Jack Garrett do with that, Mr. Wallace? I'm thinking platter. Platter, is that the word I'm looking for? A tray full of dull American hero sandwiches, cold cut lips, tomato tongues lolling out, sad American sandwiches, some with lettuce, some with mayo and mustard. No respectable deli in New York would make sandwiches like these. white bread, stomachs ripped open, flattened out, sliced with American cheese, and I'm thinking, where did these sandwiches come from? Who made them? Hispanic men and women, of course, with soft voices and softer hands. Cornmeal women, tequila men, workers documented and undocumented, making big, bland American heroes and eyes veiled against the northern gloom, their eyes big, round, brown, and polite, dreaming of big American paychecks. Hopeful, yes, American money to bring home to babies and barefoot daughters, soft-spoken women and their men who are not yet home from a day's work, riding lawnmowers, shoveling snow, waiting on the blue, black street corner every morning while carpentry crews drive past. Men with hands on their way home after work, stopped in to see their friends in a bar that only they know of, a dark, crowded, unfriendly bar that was inhabited by crews of Irish, Polish, Italian, Greek, Czech immigrants once, a rusty working man's Milltown dive. Jackets zipped up against the cold, railway porters, tobacco pickers, mill workers, immigrants of a long ago dawn trying to make a buck, trying to make ends meet. Shady dives made over for Latinos, half empty, raw whiskey and swinging string bulbs of filthy light, suffusing everything, flypaper strips, punched out plywood, Euro calendars, rough-talking mamas, men in overcoats by the door, shoulders haunted, sad old halo of hair wreathed in snowflakes. A silence of drinking men and their misunderstood anger, broken by the occasional shout of enthusiastic words, explosions of laughter, some genial commotion, subterranean workers with grass stains and holes in their pants, bleach and powder of illegal background, back light, back room bakeries, wrestling their own great nightmare daydream. Thank you. Two more poems. I'll read this next Saturday in Okemo, Oklahoma for the 12th annual Woody Guthrie Festival in Woody's birthplace. We've been doing this for 3 years now. First 6 years, when the people came to town to celebrate Woody Guthrie, the townspeople put up signs saying, "Go home, communists." 7th year, they counted up their receipts and said, "Welcome, Woody fans." So we've been going there and doing that every year. It's a lot of fun. July 15th is Woody Guthrie's birthday. Woody Guthrie, who lived for a short time, for a number of years in Mermaid Avenue in Coney Island. Get the Billy Bragg CD, Mermaid Avenue. You'll hear the music that he's put to many of the poems that Woody Guthrie wrote, lyrics that he wrote, but never had a chance to put music to. As a matter of fact, Nora Guthrie's got a trunk load of these lyrics that Woody would just write them and throw them in the trunk and say, someday somebody will put the music. So that's happening. Whenever my cowgirl plays harmonica on stage, with her hat pulled down over her eyes and the pearl guitar that catches the light, she sachets sweetly in front of the crowd to illustrate her sexy ways. She leans her body back like this to illustrate her pain. My cowgirl plays harmonica on stage with the guitar strapped low and a hand on her hip. And she tucks the harmonica somewhere deep in here, somewhere between her back teeth, and she gets this intimate sound in this middle of this out there sound. She gets this sound that no one else can get. My cowgirl plays harmonica on stage and refers to it as the mouth organ. The way she used to when she and I were only kids and called Wyoming home. And she likes to say whenever she played harmonica, the horses in the corrals at the end of town would stop their fussing. And the spiders in the rafters in the neighbor's barn froze in the middle of their incredible legged action. Even the crickets in the tall grass by the water tower where I stole the only 5 minutes of innocent love she ever had. When we were both 15, fell for the sound of my cowgirl playing the harmonica on stage. One time I cut myself on a piece of glass by the fence in her yard. I swear it stopped the bleeding. If you want to know something, I often suspected that when my cowgirl played the harmonica, all the herds of cows across America turned in her direction. Because when she would get that sound of hers going, there was nothing within earshot living on this earth that didn't know what she was talking about. She could stab the night with that sound if she wanted to. Often enough they say what she does. She wants to. And the kids at the universities know it. And the record companies know it. MTV knows it. And they love it too. And the women in town, they know what she's talking about. And they love it. And the men in town, they know exactly what she's talking about. And they're embarrassed and annoyed and jealous and speak about it and think that they know it too. As for me, whenever my cowgirl plays harmonica on stage with her hair pulled down to her eyes and her pearl gun that catches the sunlight, whenever she sashays sweetly in front of the crowd to illustrate her sexy ways or leans her body back like this to illustrate her pain, I am ashamed. Oh, I do. Okay. I'll conclude then with ecstatic state building. Ecstatic state building. What this country needs is a skyscraper that will scrape all the lies away. We don't need another Empire State Building. We need an ecstasy building. A building with big picture windows so that every man, woman, and child can look out to see how beautiful America is. The man who's been locked out of the secret pharmacy, the woman who's been locked out of secret Shangri-La, the children who have been locked up in the secret basement of their parents' discontent. What this country needs is a skyscraper to scrape all the money away, all the money away, all the hatred and the greed and the war, so that every man, woman, and child can look out and see the original America. American ecstatic. America the hopeful, America the sexy and the big and the brave, America drunk with marsh grasses and pussy willows, America happy as silver ribbons of spring water, America loud as waterfalls, talkative as mountaintops, America rich as uranium mines, stupid as iron ore, America burgling around like mulets in a wild man's hair, America with its face on fire, laughing into the sun, America big lips, wide shoulders, America studded with raindrops, America, cheeks wearing a 3-day growth of pine. It'll have to be a big building, of course. It'll have to be a very big building. But this is a country of big people. Big people. A country of big-hearted people. People with big hands and big ambitions. People with big hope and big bridges, big appetite, big friendship, big churches, big closets. Big sandlot baseball, big potato salad. If there's any country that can do it, we can do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George Wallace. For a second here, we're going to break down the fourth wall. I'm going to keep talking, so I won't be on stage because we need to